How do you do, fellow gamers? This is Almighty Goat, and this is 3 magic tricks to teach your deck, Abzan. We're going to look at one of my favorite color combinations, one of my oldest decks as well, and the commander I use there. And we're going to see all the cheese that we can squeeze out of this color. And so, with that, let's get started with my commander. And that commander is Karador, Ghost Chieftain. He's pretty simple, he's a classic. He comes out for 8. And he costs 1 less for each creature in your graveyard. It sounds like you're going to get him out really late in the game, but it actually can happen really quick. And during each of your turns, you may cast 1 creature card from your graveyard. Now, as far as combos go, I don't use too many in this deck personally, but there are some cards I want to make everybody aware of for this commander that work particularly well with him. Qasali Pridemage. For 1, sacrifice it and destroy target artifact or enchantment. Very useful, especially when you can just bring him back out for the 2 that he cost. We have Magister of Worth with Will the Council, which can end up with either getting all those creatures you filled your graveyard with to be able to cast Karador Ghost Chieftain for cheaper, coming out to your battlefield, or wiping the field clean and leaving Magister of Worth available, which then makes Karador even cheaper. We have Dauntless Escort, which gives indestructible to all of our creatures and can be recast for very cheap with Karador's ability. We have Loxodon Hierarch, who has a sacrifice ability that regenerates each creature we control, who also can be recast for a pretty affordable mana cost. When we get into our recovery even further, there's Sun Titan, which will be fishing a lot of these cards back out of the graveyard for us on its own. And if you want to get a little cheeky, you can go with Putrefax. 5/3 Trample Haste Infect. Puts a little Infect through to your opponent, and putting Infect on the board puts your opponents in a different mental state where they might be thinking about what other Infect you have. So they might see this as something they must block at all costs, but in fact it's one of your only Infect cards in the deck. So you can get a few good creature removals with it before they catch on. That's just what I like to do with my Karador deck. If you have any that you like to use in yours, please share them below in the comments. The second magic trick I want to teach your deck is something I came across when I was looking at building a spike deck. Spikes are an older creature type that enter as a 0/0 with a number of 1/1 counters on them, and they almost always have an ability to remove counters from themselves to do different effects. So what I found was Spike Feeder, and that's a good one. It enters in with 2 1/1 counters on it for 3. For 2, we can remove a 1/1 counter from it and put it on another target creature. It also has remove a 1/1 counter from Spike Feeder, gain 2 life. Awesome. So we're going to put an enchantment called Sunbond on this. Enchanted creature has whenever you gain life, put that many 1/1 counters on this creature. Well, that works really well with the bottom ability on Spike Feeder, so we're going to put Sunbond on Spike Feeder. We're going to remove a 1/1 counter from Spike Feeder, gain 2 life, and put 2 1/1 counters on it, leaning into unlimited life gain and unlimited 1/1 counters on it at a net gain of 1 each time we do this. It's simple, it's effective, and it's fairly easy to pull off. If anybody else has ran a spike deck in Commander, please let me know. I'm interested in building one, and I'm interested in what colors and commanders that you are using to do that. The third magic trick I want to teach your deck came from me looking at building a deck for Colfenor, the Last Yew. He's a very interesting card to me, and I really appreciated his ability on here. When it or another creature you control dies, return up to 1 other target creature with lesser toughness from your graveyard to your hand. So the balance mechanic in that is that the creature that you return to your hand has to be with lesser toughness than the one that went to the graveyard. So it kind of keeps you from cheesing out the same creatures over and over again. Well, we're going to try to cheese that. So we're going to have a couple cards in play. We're going to bring back first, of course, our favorite Ashnod's Altar. We're going to be pretty familiar with this one from my previous videos. It's well used in Commander, and here it is. We're also going to bring out Good Fortune Unicorn. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield on your control, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. Also, Animation Module. Whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are placed on a permanent you control, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. It has a second ability, but we're really just concerned with that top ability there. So, for this work, we need 1 more card in play, Ronin Warclub, a pretty unassuming equipment. Equipped creature gets 2/1 and it costs 5 to equip. That's a lot, especially for 2/1. But whenever a creature comes into play under your control, attach Ronin Warclub to that creature. That's what we're looking for right there, because we're gonna turn this commander's ability on its head. So we have these cards in play. Now what we need is 2 creatures that each cost 1 generic mana and have the same toughness. We have Arcbound Worker and Myr Moonvessel. The Arcbound Worker has 0/0, but modular 1, so it enters with a 1/1 counter. Myr Moonvessel has, when it's put into a graveyard from play, add 1 colorless to your mana pool. One of these creatures needs to be in play, and one of these creatures should be in our graveyard. However you get it there is up to you. You can use Ashnod's Altar, discard, whatever. So, let's start with these in play, and Arcbound Worker is going to be equipped with Ronin Warclub. Now, we're going to sacrifice Arcbound Worker to Ashnod's Altar and get our 2 mana. Colfenor's ability is going to allow us to return Myr Moonvessel from the graveyard to our hand. We're going to cast the Myr for 1 and attach the Warclub for free when it enters the battlefield. It'll get its 1/1 counter, and we'll spend 1 for the servo as well. Now, we'll sacrifice the Myr Moonvessel, get 1 colorless from it, 2 from Ashnod's Altar, totaling 3 colorless mana. We'll return the Arcbound Worker from the graveyard to our hand, spend 1, and put it back onto the battlefield, attaching the Warclub. This gives us unlimited enter and exit the battlefields, unlimited triggers from our Arcbound Worker and Myr, and unlimited servo creature tokens and unlimited colorless mana. If all that's not enough for you, I personally like to use Grave Pact and Moldervine Reclamation with this. Keeps the board pretty clear, your life pretty high, and draw all your cards. And that's 3 magic tricks to teach your deck Abzan. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this video. If you liked it, please leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment on the next colors you want to see or any other cards you think that works well with Abzan. I'm always interested to hear your feedback. Join me every Wednesday for a Magic the Gathering video. Live stream Fridays and Mondays, and I'll see you then. Thanks. Bye-bye.